Diane is here, Diane Santa,
Here.
Dennis Milborn.
Here.
Jerry Larkin. Nancy Briggs.
Yeah.
Nancy Mello.
Yep.
Donna Edwards.
She'll be here, you said?
And,
She comes late.
Yep. Ellie and Rob is here. Ellie's back from wherever she was.
Ellie's here?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's returned to
Oh, okay, sorry.
the United States. She was on
Oh,
cruise.
okay. Got it, thank you.
Let's get that. So for the benefit of those who weren't here last week, just a quick recap on what was preliminarily approved. Section 401 was the changing the town council term, 4 years, staggered terms, 4 1 year, 3 the next, and the top 4 vote getters would remain in office. And that was that was voted on and approved at the last meeting. Any need to revisit that?
Rob, I made it clear that that you might have some, even though we voted, you might have some views on it, so that's why.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
I can pull it up.
I don't know if it's 2 or 3, so I was skipping on it. Okay, well, we'll add in updates. We can just review this as part of that. Okay, that was 401 for the town council. The next one that had been discussed was 602, town treasurer. And the discussion was to make this change from elected to appointed. And it was preliminarily approved on 10/28/25. Is there any need for any further discussion on that? Okay, next one is 1001. And get to it, this is 1001.
1002, I think. Or is it 1?
1001.
1001.
Planning board studies.
Shoot.
Adding a town planner. And while it's still red here, I didn't make any changes. This had been approved preliminarily.
So the text that is on the recommendation sheet that I believe you looked at last time, that had the wording that we would put forward, yes, that one there. At that point, we had not specifically added the town planner. We had discussion. I knew it was going to be discussed again, so what was the status of that discussion? Whether it should actually be written into the planning board section or referenced in the planning board section?
Well, the discussion had been that, and maybe I was premature in making that green, because I had actually said that I didn't necessarily feel that it was necessary to put it in the charter for the position, because we have one and we're then,
Yeah, I didn't have it in the minutes.
yeah,
But we
okay,
took any
so.
vote.
But I have it in my minutes that I was adamant that I wanted to see it memorialized in the
Yes.
charter.
And that was a discussion that led to that.
That was 1001.
No, this is 1209, the planner, but this is the section you would be.
It's right here, 101 page.
It's not 101.
This one.
Yeah,
Oh, and
he's
this,
talking, where would you put it in there?
David had recommended talking to Patrick about his position regarding the planner, which I should have read this note
Here's
sooner than
Donna.
tonight.
Too.
Because I did not do that. Let's come back to that.
Mhm.
1002 is the next one.
We voted that.
The zoning board of
So did we
review.
vote on anything on one?
No,
Okay.
it's red. Or it should be. But we, on 1002, we did vote.
Yes, we have that in the minutes.
So we gave preliminary approval to this item 1002 at the last meeting. Did we have any,
Well, you had something about add a caveat.
yeah, and I
The
wish I
town
could tell you
council.
what that was. I'm just rereading it, trying to see if I can jog my memory.
What's going on in the big world?
Mhm.
What's going on in the big world?
Mhm.
Some dog thing, I think.
Do what?
There were people who had dog t-shirts on or something. I don't know. I saw them and I thought, oh no, I'm in the wrong place.
From that memo, didn't it? Didn't that come from the memo he gave?
Did it have to do with the alternates?
Are you talking about planning board?
Yeah, zoning board
No,
of review
zoning.
1002.
Because we were concerned that they would have to sit at all the meetings to be able to vote.
They, yeah,
But they do.
that's their rule.
But isn't it a state regulation or
I
something?
don't know.
Change this.
Because I thought Mike Marcello,
Look at the documents.
blue is by Jerry Gerlach, red is by the attorney.
just had it.
Can you search, Mike, over to the right? I'm looking for.
I'll do this, yeah, okay. This is the one. Amended November 22. Well, it's still the old one.
Hmm.
This is-
This is what we're doing right here, right?
We're on 1002.
Yep.
He's just reviewing
Yep.
what we did.
Yeah, because we voted, didn't we? Or no?
But isn't the memo that, that we had from the zone board, from Billy Gerlach, and then it was revised by Mike Marcello, and his comments were in red, and he puts that the member of the board can only vote. Alternate members shall be appointed for a year, may sit on the board and actively participate. Alternate members shall only vote if a member of the board is absent or if otherwise unable to serve at the hearing. But it doesn't mention that they had to attend every hearing, provided they had attended all the hearings. So Mike already reviewed this, and he added that red language there.
That they have to attend every meeting.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For an alternate.
Well, that was already in there, and he says that he's able to serve, provided that,
So it does it, right? It says, provided that the alternate member has attended all hearings on the application petition.
Right.
right. So I don't understand what the caveat was, since the solicitor already reviewed this and made his comment.
Maybe that's why I stopped writing.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe the discussion was finished and I didn't need to put any more.
Because, I mean, all this has to go by the solicitor to be reviewed for legality anyway.
Yes.
And I'm assuming since he sent this to us. You
How
know,
did you print that?
we got it printed out. Or maybe I printed it out, Diane might have sent it to us.
Yeah, she sent it to us, but I didn't get it.
Yeah,
printed.
oh, I just printed it probably, so because I like to have hard copy.
Me too. My printer's not great, so.
I just had to buy a new one.
Alright, so 1002, is there any other discussion? Did we feel that there was anything necessary, or would we be satisfied with the language from Bill and then reviewed by Mike and edited by Mike? Then the next item is 1007. Personnel board.
I think you just said
We
that
said
was
it
just
was
that
ready
the
to
town, that we didn't
Yeah, I thought
confirm.
ready to vote. And it
Yeah.
looks like Donna Edwards tried to vote and then we stopped. We didn't get a second for some reason.
Oh, really?
Oh, this
No
was
one
from the
seconded?
last meeting.
Right, I was gonna say, I thought we
It's the
voted on
personnel,
this.
because then we started discussing
Well,
it.
it was this one that the town council, the commission shall, no, the board. Personnel board.
We talked about the town administrator, the provisions for the town administrator carrying over to everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's where the
Right?
discussion ended.
Yes.
You know, the
Instead
hiring.
of just having it for, right, the hiring of all other full and part-time shall be done through personnel.
Here, Mike had
You're
this
doing the same.
underlined, the commission shall annually elect chairperson. I just have.
What they do.
I just have that it would confirm to Marcella's language, that that's our conclusion, but is that Marcella's language?
No, he's red.
Yeah.
This is,
So we're on personnel board, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
1007.
Yeah.
I think this had to do with putting all those qualifications.
yes,
And we
it did.
wanted the town council to be
Yes.
able to set
Put their own,
acceptable
Right.
qualifications as needed
right.
for different positions.
We also talked about how we didn't think it should be in the charter, specific qualifications,
It should
that
be.
they should be decided on by the council.
Because the council already has to approve the
Instead of-
advertisement and whatnot.
Right,
to the
instead of
web.
putting it in a document like the charter, we didn't think it was appropriate to, right?
I mean,
Isn't
yes,
that
no,
discussion?
you're right,
Yeah.
that was a discussion.
Yeah,
And yes,
that it was a little too much.
so, should I pull
It
up
was
the-
the
It wasn't
same
char- it
lang-
wasn't
was the
charter
same-
worthy.
It was this, it was the same language that we put
That's a
in.
new term.
It wasn't, yeah.
And that's kind of a biggie because it's in different places through
Well, we
this
put
charter.
it in when it
Correct, so-
first showed, remember? And
We
then
said we
decided-
wanted more input. from
Remember,
the
one of them was like, had to have a bachelor's degree. And we were like, now, I mean, see how things change if you put them in a charter, that kind of requirement would be under.
And we, for some reason, I'm thinking we
Needed.
wanted to use some of the language that the school department uses.
I thought we
Remember
were
when-
just.
Yeah, but this isn't
Here.
in the charter either, and that's why we,
But the way they phrased it, was it you, Jerry, that raised
no,
that?
Jerry wasn't.
It was here.
No, not last meeting, but it was raised a few meetings back. As opposed to saying specific qualifications for each department heads, we wanted the council to be able to, do you remember that discussion? For some reason, I think it was you.
Yeah. That it's more of a functional description of what you're supposed to be able to do.
Right, and not necessarily put into the charter. Right.
Right, well, that's also true. I mean, you wanna put things in,
Oh, that's in our tracker sheet, hold on. We did come up with some language.
We did, and I
Yeah.
thought that's what we.
I thought it was similar to the school department, it was Jerry that raised it.
That's fine, that's section 301. Oh,
It was something about the
qualifications.
town council
We
deemed
had
appropriate.
down that for section 502, and we didn't do it in here. we said that we wanted to remove and replace the language for qualifications with candidates must satisfy minimum
Right.
qualifications as approved by the town council. And then we had a note, this language should be used for any other position in the charter
Right.
that lists qualifications. Is that what you're recalling?
Yes.
That might have had something to do with my caveat. I might have had it under the wrong one.
Okay,
Because the caveat the town council may probably had to do with completing that, establish the qualifications to be met.
So where did,
Why don't I have the?
So 502 is gonna tie into this.
so where did you find that language?
it's on the big spreadsheet that, right there,
Under what section?
under section 502, town administrator
Okay.
qualifications.
That's right. That's right.
So, let me see if I can grab that language.
Yeah, there it is.
So just a note for the minutes, this is not a recap of last week, right? This is new discussion.
It's stretching, that's why we ended the discussion last week at
Thank
that
you.
point.
So what was the language we're replacing with again?
Hold on just a
Yeah,
minute.
it's right
It's on
there.
that other
Put it up there. Yeah.
spreadsheet.
Candidates must satisfy minimum requirements, that's right.
Just like the spreadsheet.
That is-
Mike, I updated this recommendations sheet. I don't know if you want to put it up on the screen or you have it open yet?
Oh, I've got the CRC recommendations tracker.
Okay, I've got, no, this is the one, this is this. I updated this
Yeah.
one here.
Revised 10/21.
If you refresh it, I have it labeled as update 11/4.
Well, that's what I got, an email.
There's
Forgot my phone.
no password. Tiverton Public.
Didn't show.
Yeah.
So,
Let me share it with you. Okay, coming your way.
everybody out. Your editing is on me here.
You're still on the tracker.
Is this the recommendations? No.
Is it recommendations for charter updates, Diane?
It's CRC recommendations. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the second box down is the town administrator section that I just
Yep,
put in with
Yep.
the new language. Any chance you can increase that, Mike? It's
I sure
pretty
can.
tiny for folks to see. There you go.
I guess I can. That's why I brought my own.
So, alright, so we're on 502. Is there any discussion on this? Is this something that we're comfortable with and want to move forward?
You know, it's just a suggestion from us. The council can take that and add to it or do whatever it wants or ignore it, but they'll probably want to do something to get it where it's not so set in stone what the qualification is. But we'll have to go back to fire department. So maybe if we just made that as a suggestion under section 502, and then the charter, the council could apply it to all the positions, say they're gonna apply it to all or not,
Correct.
as see fit, and let the solicitor worry about
Yeah,
how it's gonna go on the, if it makes it that far.
yeah, I'll put it over here under rationale, that we recommend that this language be used for other positions.
Under qualifications for other positions.
Right, and I don't know how you feel about the rationale that I put, but just feel free to, revise that, but I thought
I
to
like
allow
that, actually.
flexibility and qualifications based on current needs and duties of the position.
Because sometimes they just can't find people with the standard that has been put into here. So I think it'll give them a little more flexibility on hiring. And it's up to them to,
Yeah, I mean, they could go
it's up
either
to
way. They could
councils to
say
figure out
that it
whether it's
doesn't
good candidate.
require a bachelor's degree, they could say
Say
it
it means a
requires a
master's,
master's or a
whatever.
That's
special
right.
certification.
That's right.
So it changes.
And it
Because
should.
it's 2025, it's not, yeah.
Do you mind if we changed as approved by the town council to as established? Does that matter?
Where are you?
In the
Ron?
actual
The
language.
candidates line?
Oh, keep that.
No?
Oh.
Below,
No,
candidates
just to
must
put it
satisfy the minimum
as
qualifications
established.
as established.
Instead of
by the town
approved.
council.
Oh, I see,
Established.
as established.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
that just emphasizes that they're the ones that are authoring the requirements.
Although they do approve as
Oh, as
well.
approved, yeah.
I'm not approving them anyway,
So it's as established?
but.
Sounds better,
Hmm,
but
it
they will
does.
approve.
Sounds more legal.
Yeah, get that formal language in there, I like it.
Legalese. It's grammatically correct, Rob.
It has more syllables, you see, you get paid by syllables,
It's
so.
by the sounds. I've heard that, yes.
All right, so, are we prepared to vote on that? Is there any other discussion?
So, because I missed last week, so is this the only one that had a formal vote was section
No.
401?
No,
Or we're just out
No,
of
we-
order?
We voted a
there were
bunch.
several of them. and I
We
guess
had
it
4.
Probably makes sense now to go
Do
through
you have those in the minutes?
We'll get
And I
them.
have them on here.
Okay, cool, all right, yeah.
Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve section 502,
Well,
correct?
we're on 502, okay.
Are
Okay,
you seconding it, Nancy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Which one?
I don't know either, Nancy.
You're seconding it?
All right, yeah.
all right, all in favor?
Nancy?
Aye, unanimous.
8-0.
All right, so 602 is the town treasurer, which we've discussed already.
Mhm.
And this is the language that we propose to move forward. Anybody have any questions or comments? I know it's already been approved, but I'm just,
You wanna reapprove it? Well, we had a quorum, so
You have to
We did.
reverse your
Yeah.
vote. Well, no, you wouldn't have to, but.
Yeah, we had a quorum.
So did we change did we generalize the duties or the minimum requirements also for the treasurer?
No.
This is
you
just
have to
the-
go back
just
and
is
do
this
that.
the,
It's changing
appointment
from
process.
elected to
Okay.
appointed, yeah.
Got it, good.
Yeah.
Do you want to revisit that?
I don't feel that's.
No, because
particularly
that's
problem.
what we just discussed with the town administrator. It's the same idea.
If I understand what we did, we formally motioned only on 502, but the official committee report, if you will include that note
Yes.
that invites the council to
Yeah.
consider a more
Yeah.
global thing. Yeah.
Right.
I think that.
Because
Yeah.
the current section on the town treasurer does not include qualifications.
Right, because it's elected.
So the only thing that we're doing is changing it from being elected to appointed.
Doesn't have qualifications, they've got duties and responsibilities, but that's a different story.
So we took basically the same language that we had for town administrator, correct? And used it as town
It's up to
treasurer?
Yes,
Yes.
yep.
We did have some question on the autonomy of that position, but I guess that would be too hard to control.
But
You know, we didn't want that particular, oh, here comes Ellie. We didn't want that position to
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
be under the town administrator, or we put solely responsible, the council's solely responsible for hiring, but it doesn't say, but it still puts that position under the town administrator. And I thought we kind of wanted that position, we wanted to recommend that
that's what I
position.
was just
Yes, I
gonna-
remember
Rob,
that.
wasn't there some discussion with it, that when you were here 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
With the town treasurer, that somehow that she also should, he or she should have direct access to the,
So,
Do we have anything
To the
else?
town
Is
council.
that gonna be too difficult to put in there?
I don't think it's too difficult. I was just gonna wait and see if the original proposal passed, and then I would consider possibly adding something again, but.
Something that
as
would
it's
give that
stated-
position,
Well, I guess
give
what-
the administrator a little less authority for the position and the council a little more, or is that not feasible to do?
Well, maybe we start by asking, what is the status as it is right now? Is there some other authority that has the treasurer's desk reporting to the town administrator?
It's elected
Because it
position, so
doesn't say
we
that
like
now.
the idea that that position can say, yes, no, I won't, I can't, you know.
But there's
But
probably
once it
something-
becomes under that town administrator,
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's, in the school department, yes, the business manager reports to the superintendent, but they also report directly to the school board.
Precisely.
So you probably do want to have that.
I agree.
independent
I think we
level
do.
of report.
Put it in there.
I mean, I'd like to see it just, at least for the next charter change, to see that that position, once it becomes appointed, is not in the same category as
Yeah.
the fire chiefs and the
Yeah,
Right, right.
you wanna do
DPW and
that
all.
with the
It's
change,
because of the
you're-
importance of that position, because we don't have finance committees,
Right.
because we have a budget committee that feels they're somewhat defunct or whatever.
So is that something that the lawyer, Mike, would put in?
yeah, I might have to do that, because what would you say, Jerry? It's administratively,
And they vote on it.
I would say that
report to the town, to the town administrator,
You
but.
could do it a couple different ways. One would be to say that the town administrator appoints, but that they report to the town council. You could also make the town council be the one to appoint.
Mm-hmm.
The town administrator, yes, is supposed to be in charge of the machinery of the town, but you could still make that an appointment by the town, carve that out is a singular appointment by the town council, and that the reporting is directly to the town council.
So we do,
Understanding that they have to work together, but
Yeah.
so we do have that the town council is solely responsible for the hiring of the town treasurer.
okay, so that's the same thing then.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. This is the comment you made, Nancy. No less important than the police department, fire department. Right now, the council approves the recommendation by the administrator. Why would we want to be any different for that position? I understand that you're trying to get some autonomy, but
Because right now it's an elected position, and that position has always been able to stand independently. But we don't think, our recommendation would probably be that it not be elected, that
which I agree with.
give you might have a better chance of getting good hires to stay longer if it were appointed and whatnot, or you put qualifications to it.
Correct.
As opposed to anyone without qualifications being treasurer. But there's something about that position holding the autonomy it has right now. That position has stopped town administrators in the past from doing some things. I'm not saying doing wrong things, I'm saying, because we've had some wrongdoings in the treasurer's office as well. I'm not saying doing wrong things, I'm saying it's just moving it from elected to appointed. This might just be a transition thing.
I was just gonna say, so you're caught on the transition aspect of it, because if you look at all these other communities, the treasurers, they put a job description out, they apply for the job, they go through the interview process, administrator makes the recommendation to the council, they hire the person. I'm concerned about the autonomous aspect, because who does the person answer to as far as any type of disciplinary action? Supposing we had a treasurer that does something wrong, they answer to the council, they answer to the administrator.
And
The answers
who's
to the law,
supervising the
we've had
position,
them,
too?
but this is a little different. There have been treasurers that have proceeded with different steps that didn't necessarily go through the council or the administrator at this point because they were elected positions and could do that. I don't know. I don't think it always needs to be in there, but I think for the few years of
I don't
comfort
think it's
that
just
we
a
need.
transition thing, though. I think there's also just an ease of functioning, even if it's 4 years
Yeah.
now, you know.
And was part of it also that for the town council to have increased access to information from the treasurer or more awareness of what was happening within the treasurer? It
I
was,
think they have that,
Yeah, council has
Diane. I think
increased access now.
okay,
they have the access.
so we don't need that. We need, so right now, who supervises the town treasurer?
No.
Or they're
No,
elected?
they're-
so
it's
there's
an
no-
elected.
So they're
Okay.
an independently elected authority, so they
So let me
they can be recalled.
change my question. Who supports that position? Does the town council directly to support and
No.
give direction, or is it the town administrator?
Support in what way?
No one.
She's
Yeah,
on her own.
They have a
Or guide.
staff. Huh?
Or guide? So,
I'm sorry, if they died?
no, guide.
Guide.
I heard the same thing and I'm sitting right here.
Getting a little
Direct
drastic,
the
isn't it?
treasurer, or is it both the administrator and the town council? I'm just trying to get a feel to see how it might shape
Does
what we
the
put
town
there.
administrator meet with the treasurer at all?
She is
Like
part of the
during the
department head
week?
meetings.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Do they?
the
They
treasurer
work
has
hand in
participated
hand.
in the government of the town, and I think that's sort of, kind of understood.
So
It's
whatever.
really just
I mean,
whether or
your
not.
insight is really helpful
Yeah, no,
because
I-
what do you think that would be?
I understand the hesitation, Nancy, and I'm just gonna say it like it is. Your hesitation is because of the political history in this town. If the current administrator stays here long enough to professionalize this town, we shouldn't have that problem
we shouldn't, and I hope he does, but I'm just saying, we're not setting this for a certain person.
Right.
We're looking
It's in the
for it.
charter. Right.
Well,
We're not setting it for
Right.
any
and I don't
person.
disagree, but if
Because
it's
I-
under the council's purview strictly, who's to say the council doesn't do that? If it's under the administrator's purview directly, who's to say the administrator doesn't do that? So both entities that have the hiring authority could be looking for a certain person.
Well, because the council is not there on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So you're not directing that treasurer, even if he or she were appointed right now. You were not there, council is not there day-to-day.
Right.
But administrator is there day-to-day
Right.
for all the little minutiae stuff that goes on.
Right.
And that would give a lot of supervision over that position,
Well,
as is necessary over all the positions.
But you're also
But
saying
we're
we're
trying
changing
to get
time.
out of that.
Let me ask you the reverse way. If the treasurer becomes appointed, is the treasurer free to, by this person's on his own or her own, go to the town council to talk to them about a problem, or go to the
I would hope they would be able
Yeah.
to. I mean, I would hope anybody would, but that isn't necessarily.
Well, they take an oath also. They took an oath to follow the rules and regulations of the town, the state, and the.
Well, as an employee or as a, right now they're elected, they take
As
an
elected?
oath. Employees don't take oaths.
We had this
So
discussed.
Appointed
This
officials.
this is very common corporate practice, and I think the schools do the same thing, where the chief financial officer can still report to the town
Right.
administrator,
Right.
but is hired by the board and has a direct line to the board. The auditors want to see that.
Right.
So I don't know if we're talking about who's hiring or just having that backup channel.
So
I'm talking about the backup, I think you're asking me about the backup channel.
And is the language that the town treasurer reports to both the town administrator and the town council?
No, I would think the treasurer still reports to the town administrator, who is our chief executive officer, so to speak. But I think that position is unique because of the role and also its historic practice as an elected official. And frankly, if we ever change the town clerk to a point, I'd say the same thing about that office, that it's almost like a non-interference, or there needs to be a path.
You would want to, I would think, specify that in the language of the charter, that they report the town administrator, but they have a separate reporting obligation, whatever word you want to use, to the town council as well.
And I had actually said it should go to the vice president of the council, but I got told that we're not allowed to do that, that it has to go to the council as a body.
Well, the bodies can only act as.
Because the council isn't like a corporate board that has its own officers, so to speak, rather than just administrative. But typically, if you had a treasurer of the town council, of the board, so to speak, your CFO would have a direct line to your treasurer, so we're not quite the same.
So how would you handle the language?
I'd be happy to.
Just like what I said.
Yeah, I think we're writing it right now. We've got a master draftsperson as we
Can
speak.
someone say it again, as an obligation, or?
As a separate, I think you need the word, you use the word separate.
Ability to
Reporting.
report to the town? Council?
Yes, it's a separate ability to report on treasury matters directly to the town council without
Yeah.
interference. It's that interference line, I
Yeah.
think, is what we've seen that in other places.
Yep.
To report
Because right now, that position
directly
reports
to
all the
town council
information.
without interference,
financial information.
free of
to
interference.
council and administrator, but
It's
not
possible.
necessarily the day-to-day issues of it, because the
The
council
treasurer.
isn't involved in the day-to-day.
Right.
Well, and the treasurer now has independent authority. She or he does not need to report to anybody. They can be recalled, or they can get, they can be not reelected.
But it works well for the school department,
The treasurer? Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you mean the.
The finance.
Yes.
yes. So
I mean,
it works
well,
well that they report both
I
to
will
the school
say that
committee.
sometimes the superintendent needed to be reminded of that.
Yeah,
And that's
But that's
okay.
why you have that language in there.
that's
Yes,
why you have this
And that's-
language now, free of interference.
That's
yeah,
like,
I
you
think,
know,
I think
We
that,
want
different.
that settles my
Administrators.
point.
Correct.
And I think in the broader context here, right, for those that, we talked about that we're taking some direct power from the voters and taking that away a little bit, taking the voter a step away, that I like to think this adds some comfort to the voter, that, okay,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be appointed and not elected, but there's that extra safeguard to get closer to their elected town council.
Here,
Shall
directly
submit
to
to
town
the
council,
administrator.
free of interference, yeah, I like that.
Recommend.
It at least puts forth not only our recommendation, but
So,
the thought behind it is that they can like it or they can not like it, but, and it certainly doesn't have to do with any person, it's just that position. It's difficult when I think of all the things that that position has done to say, I'm not quite sure that the administrator would have had that same overall view of the situations. But perhaps council would have. But did they ever know of it? I don't know. But I'm just saying that might,
and,
I think,
I'm just looking at everything that goes through just for that, but both are appointed by the town administrator.
his recommendation. to town
Appointed by the
council.
town administrator from among qualified personnel.
So Diane's making a little adjustment to this to reflect the discussion.
Is it submit final applicants
what?
or?
Recommendation, I think. Because the town administrator will do the review of the applicants.
Let me put that in red since it's new.
So basically, this turns it, the town administrator will get the candidates from the personnel board, will review them, and then form a recommendation to the town council for appointment.
So the personnel board shall recommend
Applicants selected for
to
further
the town
review.
administrator, applicants selected for further review. The town administrator will submit a recommendation to the town council for an appointment. Like are they gonna be sending a choice that the town council can make, or?
He'll be sending his choice. And we can make a caveat there that if the town council
Will submit his choice.
declines the recommendation, the process reverts back to the
personnel board.
personnel.
But that's the
board.
procedure now anyway, right?
Right, and so do we just refer to the personnel board procedures? Like, are we adding too much there?
Did we change the town administrator procedure? I know there's a lot of discussion about the personnel board and the town administrator, is that?
It's right above it, Rob.
Well, I know about the qualifications, but did we,
I think you guys did last week, or
yeah, I missed last week. There was, I thought, some,
personnel board.
No, we didn't really change.
Yes, we did.
Well, we took what their language they used.
For which-
Yeah, we accepted the personnel board, we were gonna submit that
No, but you
memo.
want, if we had
Back up.
changed anything in the town administrator?
right, so does the town administrator
Yeah.
hiring still go to the personnel board, or can the
Yes.
council?
Remember the
part of that?
personnel board gave us a memo?
Okay, so we would do the same with the treasurer, right?
Yes. So under town administrator,
1,007.
so should we add treasurer in there? Because there's language in the personnel board for hiring the town administrator.
Yeah, it's in that memo.
I know, but are we gonna add in,
Let's see what that's.
hiring the treasurer or no?
So this was the personnel board recommendations.
Hiring the town administrator, yeah. Solely responsible for hiring the town administrator. Well, I don't think we need to add that for the treasurer, that's just for the town administrator. Didn't we say we were gonna attach these memos to our recommendations?
The backup, yeah.
Yes.
So this was just, they cleaned up some language here. Here's the, this was their proposed edit.
So broadly speaking, I believe the intent, it's really a clarification, right? We all agree the town council is the hiring authority, but we also believe that the hiring process needs to run through and not around the personnel board.
Right.
And I think that'd be exactly our same position for the treasurer.
Any
But
of
is that obvious, or is that, do we need to clarify that?
Are we okay with the wording?
It says all full and part-time personnel.
As amended?
Yeah.
Wasn't the issue this time around that there was only the one name put forward and the council wanted it for appearances? Interview.
Yeah, there were arguments both ways for it. My argument was, there was the argument of appearance of only having one candidate. The other argument was they're wasting other people's time when we clearly had a candidate. It's, you know, it goes both ways. But I think what ended up happening was, so long as there's 2, 3, or 4 candidates, send 2. Let the council say, we'll interview that one, but
This is specific to the town administrator.
yeah.
So regarding the treasurer, we don't necessarily have to follow this.
You don't, but I would recommend it, because that personnel board, again, can be appointed by any resident that applies that wants to be on the board. It's that extra layer of eyes.
Yikes. This dude's coming up. Or bled through.
We may be covered by the existing charter language that was 2 pages up. It just says all part-time and full-time employees.
Mhm.
That
That's
might
why I'm
be all we
wondering if
need.
what we have for the hiring of the town treasurer is too much and we just refer to the personnel board procedures.
What language are you referring to, Rob?
Kiss principal?
C
Yes.
C,
or 1 after the red is what you're looking at.
can you go, yeah, there you go.
Right there, C.
But the council already approves all job descriptions and advertisement. They have,
Right.
it already is doing that.
Yeah, no, what Rob was saying was,
2,
I
look
think
at
that's
2.
exactly, is that the treasurer would technically fall under number 2 here, the hiring of all full-time and part-time personnel is done through the personnel board.
Yep,
Treasurer by default fall into that.
yep.
Hiring of all full part-time is done through the personnel board.
And we said the treasurer reports to the
Yeah.
town administrator, we're good to go.
All right, so
Yeah, we
can
cover that.
we rephrase to reflect that? And, because we still have the budget discussion,
Right. So.
ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be, could be bumpy. So,
The library closed at 8.
Yes.
It's closed at 8, right?
Yeah, but they'll let us stay as long as we're willing to.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we have to,
That's a
but.
different question.
I'm turning the lights off at 8:05. We still have 2 more meetings on the books.
Yeah, but we wanted to get before the council in their 21st, 22nd meeting.
Or is that when you're gonna go before the council?
That was the hope, because we'd still be within our charge.
All right.
Did you catch that, Rob? November
I am,
22nd.
I'm looking back at the language and it says a.
Thanksgiving,
December 27th.
27th.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's the 22nd.
Was it
What's the
December
November,
22nd?
what's the November date you have?
25th.
Oh, it was November
I
because
think
our charge.
we have a
ends
meeting on the
December
25th.
4th or something.
Special meeting.
I was looking at something earlier.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the
But
22nd.
we have a standing meeting on the 18th, so we have a regular meeting after this before the council meeting.
On the,
Yeah, that's the
18th.
meeting.
Do we
I
have a
haven't
meeting on
had.
the 18th?
That's our
Yes.
our next regular meeting.
So
This was supposed to be our original last
Yeah.
year, but we found some more time. So it's still on a first and third Mondays, so it's still considered a regular meeting, even though it was on the
Tuesdays.
original schedule.
Tuesday.
Tuesdays. I don't know what day it is. It happens too much.
So, and it'll be
He's
here.
still on Irish time.
I know, it'll be
I
at the
have
senior center,
scheduled
I think.
meetings today,
Like
the
the
18th, the
Caribbean
next
time.
one's the 18th, right?
Right.
Irish time's pretty darn good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's-
And then
And
22.
And we had one on the 25th.
We called Butch last night and I forgot the time
We
change.
have some
So it
people
was
that we're
11
going to
o'clock.
make.
11,
The
12.
25th?
Yeah. But
When's Thanksgiving?
yes.
27th.
It's right after that.
November.
Yeah, I won't be at that 25th.
So are we keeping that though, 11?
I don't remember. Just, it's, I gotta go back and look at my notes.
I
I
didn't
won't
have
be
it
at
there.
that meeting, don't let them slide.
The key point is we have one more
Meeting.
regular
The
meeting.
25th,
this
but
group.
the Thanksgiving
Okay.
dinner, the 27th.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's
the
too
meeting
much
on the
meeting.
18th.
That's
it'll
still
be
on.
he- that's still
Where
on.
is it? Let me check that.
John's birthday's the 26th.
Senior
Township
Center.
appointed for a period not to exceed 3
Senior
years.
Center.
Oh, is that what we said, 3
On the
years?
18th, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because now it's appointed.
25th.
I mean, should it become
Yeah.
appointed?
Yes.
24, 22.
And the 24th, you've got a meeting?
He's
The
fine.
24th, Dave?
Yeah, 10, 20, the 10th and 24th, 8th and 22nd.
What
Because
does
they
that
meet on
mean?
Monday.
The town treasurer shall be appointed
Goes
for
by very fast.
a contract period.
Because there's
not
something
to
that
exceed-
says they can't be appointed more than 3 years.
So rather than all of this
We
down
do.
below,
It's scheduled, especially
and
now
it's
that we're gonna be-
consistent with the town
I'll just put an
administrator.
asterisk on it.
So if we want to get rid of all of that, then we can, consistent with.
Why would we want to limit it to 3 years if she's doing good? She
State
is
law.
doing
No, you can only do contracts for 3 years. So that's, it should, then if they're doing a good job, I would assume they'd be
Renew 'em, can't
reappointed
you?
and reappointed, like most of the other positions. Is this mine or yours?
That's mine.
Oh, it's mine.
I don't know.
Well, I
To
had it out a
To your
minute
left,
ago.
underneath your left under the yellow.
I rather think that Donna was trying to take it,
No.
but that's all right. Yeah, so if you can only do 3, you just keep, a good person would get reappointed. But we still can't take out all duties and responsibilities of that position. That would still have to be in there, right? But now it might have more duties and responsibilities
Of the treasurer?
of the treasurer. But let's let the council determine from that point.
You could always put the catch-all at the bottom of the duties that
Yeah.
say such other duties as designated by the town council, not in conflict with another part of the charter.
Yeah,
So
there you
like a
go.
catch-all you could do.
Yeah, I think that was something that we had talked about, looking at any other position that might list qualifications, but I don't think that we saw any. I think it was
Just the judge and maybe the police chief?
Right.
Or DPW?
What is
was
a
a
dire,
probate.
a report dire to
It
the
might
town?
have been
Under
the fire
duties and
department.
responsibilities, it
Could
does
be
say
a typo.
including but not limited to,
Right.
so.
Is that a
We can
typo?
expand that.
Where, probably, where? The town treasurer will be appointed for a contract period of
The
not to
treasurer will
exceed 3
report dire to the town administrator. Okay, wait a minute, I'm gonna, oh, you fixed it. Just had to
A lot of
refresh.
desk being turned
Yeah, I
in
just
there.
had to refresh it.
I put, I don't know if this language is good enough, but I put the hiring process will be in accordance
Yeah.
with section
I like that.
1001,
Yes.
planning board.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, do we need to vote on
So
this?
we need
Is there any other discussion?
to approve as amended.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I second.
Rob, Donna,
Second.
all in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's doing it right. She's doing it right. Her elbow is going up.
Does this only touch section 602? Or is it?
Yeah, it says 602 town treasurer.
So I'm just trying to get this down here.
Okay. Planning board, yes. Approval, addition of the town planner.
Yeah, that, you see why that's in red, Donna?
Yeah,
Ah,
red, blood
Red.
red. Blood red.
Because they're trying to get by us, but we
that
won't
wasn't
let
quite
it.
blue.
We won't let it get by us.
Blood red.
So where is that other?
I kind of think it's important.
Okay, so Bill had made some, the board had made some
Yes.
recommendations.
I
There's a lot.
don't, he didn't suggest the town planner though. We did.
No, we
I think
did.
that was coming from us. But I kind of like this question. What would their relationship be to the planning board?
So I think I'm in disagreement with maybe the other side of the table. I don't think this needs to be in the charter. The principles of simplicity, and once it's baked into the charter, it moves by flexibility. So that's just one commissioner's position. Thank you. We have a planner now, right?
But
No, we
no,
don't.
no, it's a consultant
Right.
position.
That's what I mean. We have, the role is filled, so
Yeah,
just baking in
but-
another.
But isn't it posted?
It is posted, we have a highly qualified candidate, and from my perspective, as somebody that moved to this town in 2008, had we actually been able to maintain a planner, we wouldn't be dealing with half the BS we're dealing with. Planning, zoning, buildings going up all over town, developments going up that are out of control.
Old news.
But isn't a lot of it
I think
pushed by the
people
state?
accept that we have
Now
one,
it's pushed by the state.
or
But
consulting
that's been in the
firms, but
pipeline
we
for
want
a
it
year, 2
memorialized.
years.
We don't want to get back to where we say we don't need one. If you put it in the charter, it is at least memorialized that there will be a. Now, whether the council can physically hire a person and call them the planner, or whether they have to use consulting firms for it, it is still the position of the planner that is being filled, and we need it.
Totally agree.
And
Okay,
it's
big
probably
money for
why
it.
we're in
So-
some of this. It's gone on for years and years. And my opinion, we should be putting something in there.
Well, under what authority is the position posted?
Right. How was it?
Well, that's a good question.
You're making a position if it's posted for hire, right?
Right.
Town
Yeah.
council has that ability. Do we need to memorialize it if they can do it and they're doing it because they see the need?
If the budget supports it, the
Yeah.
council can create any position.
That would satisfy me if it were just a new position that we were looking at. This is not a new position. This is something that the town has
Desperately.
grappled with all this time, putting
we've had
planners
a
in, taking planners out. We've had planners before. We've had physical people that were called the planner. So why not put them in the, why not? Why should every other position be in and not that one when we have had that position?
I'll tell you that there's still plenty of acreage in this town that if we were to get a planner and maintain that position, they could help with curbing some of that and potentially changing the directions.
Change our zoning.
We need a planner. We do, we need a town planner.
Mhm.
I agree.
We
But,
definitely
but,
do.
but do we need to put it in the charter?
If it's a position, yeah, I think any position that that's in essence, a governmental position, yes, needs to be in the charter.
Not necessarily.
Because what position is not in the charter?
Right, that was my question.
Well, then why do we need the
Police
fire
chief,
chief, the fire
Why are
department in
they
there?
all listed here? Because they're essential positions
Since
to the town.
And so is a
a
planner.
planner is essential.
At least if we come to a consensus on
Vote for
that,
them.
we send it forward and that's the best we can do.
Then they have to find the money for it in the budget,
Yep.
if you put it in the charter,
Okay, so
basically.
is that the sense of the committee? We want to put it into the charter? Are there any other dissenting?
You're saying it doesn't have to be in
Rob
the
doesn't-
charter?
Rob doesn't agree, but that's okay.
No, I don't think you have to
That's
put
all
a
right.
position of the government
Right.
in the charter. Well, why would you have to do that? The council, the school board can still appoint whatever's supported by the budget. If it's a state law requirement, it'll have to happen. So-
Is it a state law requirement
I don't think so.
that you have to have a
I'm
planner?
just saying in general, you don't have to
Yeah.
put every
I
last
think
thing
it's
in
just
the
a
charter.
good practice. in
Well,
essence.
oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, but I'm wondering, is it
I
a
think it's
I
necessary.
believe the law is you have to have an administrative officer, which the planner acts as. I'm not-
Can or
I'm
does not
gonna
have
do
to.
this.
The planner does not have to be the administrative
They don't
officer.
have to be though, no, you're right.
No,
But-
so,
But they
so
would-
that in itself doesn't exclude it because it doesn't have to be. We've had a planner and had a different administrative officer.
Right. But you're making my point. We've had a planner
Mm-hmm.
for.
We've had a
certain
planner and
period.
yet we've never memorialized it.
But why do you have to?
Why do we have them, we don't need all this stuff in the charter. Why do we have to put the DPW director in there?
No, but why?
Is it true?
I mean, why? We've always had one.
Do we need a facilities manager to handle the building side of the town?
Don't you think the planner would have to have of the same importance? I'm just saying, that's
I
my
think it's very
opinion.
important, yes.
But I'm only one opinion, so.
I think it's very
Could we
important.
take
Town
a
council
look at
recognizes it.
so is that the whole?
And this
planning
may not
board
even get
section
on the
there?
ballot.
But it will get to the council and they will
Correct,
know that
but
that's
so
the
if,
opinion.
if that's what we want, then yes, but we're not.
I think you make a good point. I don't believe you have to put fire chief, DPW with. The charter is saying that we think this department or this position is either so important that we're requiring you to have it exist on threat of a charter complaint, I guess. Or required or not, there's some need to specify the duties because maybe it's not clear the difference between, I don't know, I'm just making this up, the tax assessor versus the tax collector, so we need to clarify that. So if there's a reason to clarify what the duties are of a town planner vis-a-vis someone else, there might be some reason to do that, or if we want to send a signal that we think this position is so important that the council has no discretion and they must always and everywhere, including the taxpayers, fund it. I think that's the decision I look at it.
I think it's been funded through, not only when there were people holding the position, but also by the means of using contracted personnel and things like that. So the funding is there already. We're spending the money, but not getting the full benefit of everything, not getting that person in there every day doing
Correct.
what the
Yes.
job
And
is.
my
But the
husband-
money is already being spent, so.
And I know when my husband was on the planning board, and that was part of the issue with keeping a town planner or retaining them in our town, was that there was not clarity on the roles and responsibilities between, does the town planner report directly to the town administrator? Do they report to the planning board? Are they the planning board secretary? Do they lead the meeting? Do they not lead the meeting? And so there was an instance where we had a very good town planner and he left because he was completely frustrated because we had not had one. We did not have anyone in that position for a long time. He steps in and we didn't have the structures and
Like a
processes to
charter.
support the position.
And I
So I
also know
think
there's
that-
a history of not paying enough. They didn't want to work here.
But that's all
also a
positions,
factor.
that's-
Yeah.
And before that, there was an issue with people who did not want to see it in the budget.
Or zero
all.
budget.
The zero line,
And who
zero.
would want to take a position that's not in the charter and may not be funded the next
Right.
year or the next year, depending on who's in town council?
Right.
So putting it in, I believe, putting it in the charter shows a commitment to maintain that position, number one, but also it allows us to create the language so that we have that organizational flow, so that the whole process is more efficient than what it is.
So, in Bristol, for example, that position is actually called the Director of Community Development. I look for planner, this person is the planner, but their title is different. And it's got the whole, act as professional staff assistant to the planning board, all that fun stuff there. I will add, just to touch on something with Rob, to give you a little bit of history about the wonderful town of Barrington. Back in the early 90s, there were some issues with having a heavily staffed volunteer fire company and a heavily staffed paid department in town. And the only reason the fire department did not get squashed in that town is because the charter says that they needed to have one. So,
Exactly.
if, for example, you were to take the fire department out of that charter, it would be a popular move in the end, but you happen to get a council that says, we don't need a fire department,
Right.
they could wipe your fire department out.
I think with the department, and we don't go so far as to say there has to be, I believe in the charter with 3 fire stations and this number of firefighters. The planner is more of a singular position, but I think the concept still applies. And I don't know what happens if you say it's funded at only $1. Is anybody suggesting this has to be a full-time W-2 employee position versus a
Well, just put
consultant?
the position and let the councils determine what.
What would it be if you hired somebody full-time?
My understanding is the vision for a new planner would be responsible for that corner of the building. Planning, zoning, building official, zoning officer,
And coordination. Yeah.
coordination, planning, zoning, grants, community development, economic development.
If you can find
This person is gonna be, they're gonna have quite the heavy plate.
Yeah, it would be a hefty salary.
I can tell you right now, the current town manager in Barrington, Phil Hervey, was the town planner in that town for 20+ years. That guy has gotten that town millions of dollars more
Well, see, that's
than what
the
his
other
salary
thing.
will ever be.
Grants, right, right.
We
Right.
talked about a deputy town administrator in that role as well, so I mean,
That's
that's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I think we also discussed that that role probably doesn't need to be in the charter either. I mean, there's nothing that stops that role from existing now.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we include this in the recommendation.
And then include the town planner?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna second it.
One-
Donna and I will both second it.
Any other?
Further discussion.
Alright, so-
And that will only take it as our recommendation to such a point and let the council then develop the duties and responsibilities to what they see as that position should be overseeing. like Paul just mentioned, it might oversee that corner of the building, zoning and whatever.
Mhm.
Let them determine.
Is there any other discussion? Then all in favor? No? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You're
And
gonna take
I
the
don't
notes
know.
too.
Everybody was out of me?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're a no?
I'm a no, but
Okay.
I gotta write, this makes a lot more typing for me, so I just need a second. I can't type unanimously. I should just vote yes.
Who was the?
We'll let you change your mind.
So
Donna and I
made-
seconded
give me
it.
some more.
Give it
I,
to
I heard,
Nancy.
I can't give you
Nancy.
2 seconds,
Nancy did.
okay.
Nancy did the
Nancy
second.
second.
And off goes that red into green, into, what color are we doing it when we vote them?
And where would this position be located?
Well, this is what the discussion was, is that let the town council flesh out
For the duties
who
and
they're going to
qualifications.
report to, who they're going to
Yeah,
oversee.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which one they'd want to oversee all of it, but makes sense, that would be the one, but.
Just make sure they can
Are you taking the
operate
blood red off?
retroactively and get rid of
Are you
seasons.
taking the blood red off?
Yes,
Take
So
the
we-
blood red off.
In the planning board, we still have the, this memo that, excuse me, I'm just gonna roll to the top and make sure I catch it all. All right, so this was just the introduction. This is for reference, existing. These were the changes, so it's just semantics there. Saying that they'll adhere to the laws, which in this case, the law says that they will have a vice chair and a secretary, I believe it was, that are not currently in the charter. And then this one is the hiring town administrator.
so do we also need to vote on the addition of the vice chairperson and secretary?
I thought that was gonna be all under like housekeeping stuff, because it's state law, right?
Well, this in red, this hiring town administrator is a little bit of a change. Or clarification, let me put it that way. I gotta go back to read the.
Do we want to add more than the town shall appoint a town planner as a recommendation? Are there other descriptors that we want with that? Do we?
Maybe our recommendation could be that they appoint and develop qualifications and responsibilities, because we don't know the whole picture of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, maybe that just make that a commentary note on the right side like you did before, probably. Probably good enough.
So this item 1 is an addition to the general provisions of section 1007 in the existing charter. And the intent was to clarify the hiring of the town administrator.
I'm sorry, Mike, just to be clear, was, the last topic was about the planner, right?
Planner, yeah.
Okay, so,
Was still in planning board 1007,
okay, got it.
but, and I'll go back and when Diane's done wordsmithing, we'll do that. So we can go thumbs up or thumbs down on this, or we can modify it.
I love it.
That was the personnel board recommendation, right?
1007?
Yep.
And they did a good job.
Yeah, he sure did.
I don't know, I'm bouncing around here and I'm getting, this is 1007.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys voted on that last week.
We did.
we did. Donna and Nancy did the motions.
Yep.
And it was unanimous.
So let's move on.
Yep.
Let's keep
So let's
moving. All right. Okay.
That was also 1,007.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
that was included.
Mm-hmm.
So Diane's notes here are, the town shall appoint a town planner, town council will establish the minimum qualifications, hiring process will be in accordance with section 1001 of the planning board.
Let's say minimum qualifications, duties and responsibilities.
Do we want to do the same that we did for the treasurer?
Well, no.
The town planner will report to the town administrator?
Does he now, but without interference? David, is that how it is now?
Ashley right now primarily just deals with Todd and planning zone.
There
And
is
reports to the
something
town
that the
council.
town administrator does not get involved with the planner.
I would think, again, not to reinvent the wheel here, I would think that going with other cities and towns, the planner reports to the administrator.
Okay,
The
so,
buck stops with the council no matter who's on the committee. If someone's failing in one of those positions, it's on the council's lap.
yeah, so,
It's on the administrator's head.
Right. He reports to the town council though.
the planner.
It reports to the
I
administrator.
mean, we've had administrators influence planners, but you can have them administrate, you can have them not, or you can have, it's done, it's all.
I think the bigger problem is we've got councils trying to influence
Yeah,
planners.
it's bigger
That's
problems
the-
if council
But that's
interferes.
supposed to be protected non-interference, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't worry about that position under
Because
the.
non-interference isn't just is it just the police department? It's the whole.
No, it's
the whole-
all, so if that
Right.
falls in as a department head, the
Yeah.
non-interference clause applies there as well.
Yeah.
And all that planner has to do is go to the administrator or the town council president and say, hey,
Anything
Get this
that was
council off my
voted
back.
on, I'm coloring.
All right.
All right.
So
So,
1002 was voted on last week. I'm sure everybody's read their updates in the document. 1007.
do we want to discuss Scott Turner's email?
We're not worried about the school committee, which is, do you want to get back up to the budget committee? Still some-
Yeah, I mean, I think the school committee is so connected to the
State.
budget committee process anyway. Jerry, do you want to discuss next what we had for the school department?
Had
We're
the
happy that you're
minutes
here.
uploaded to the SOS site. Which, so we were talking, there was some redundancy in that language because they already have to
Correct.
upload minutes.
That's Secretary of State.
Right,
so it's
yeah,
different.
right.
Although for some reason, I thought we did keep, the school department sent us copies of their minutes and stuff. 'Cause I remember the
Is
file
that
drawer
language in
folder.
the yellow,
Right.
copies of the
Minutes of school
minutes of the
committee
school
meetings
meeting
shall be on file
in the office of the
Yes.
town clerk? We feel that that's not necessary since everything's on the state
Yeah.
secretary's site.
So it's redundant.
I mean, it's all, there's a lot of that type of stuff, even in state law.
Because remember, this was set probably prior to the
Yeah.
All that
requirement
electronic
that
stuff.
everything be on the
Fancy.
Secretary of State's.
Those fancy French
But I mean, you think somebody's reading them when they get them there?
So it would be a change to go to biannually as well,
Let's change so fast.
electing a chairperson and vice chair and such officers.
Who is that? Mike?
1101, right here with the, we've got it in blue.
Oh, got it, yep.
So currently it's, the school committee elects a chair, a vice chair, and other officers annually.
What is that?
Fiscal impact.
And I forget.
That's what it said in the charter, and Diane said that the practice has been every 2 years.
Correct. Like after every election, there's new.
Do we have to say when at all? Why don't we just say shall
What
elect?
section are we on?
Yeah, I know, that's,
Yeah, that makes
Take
sense
it
to
out.
not say it at all.
Right. Take it out.
Shall. Alright, so let's take out that proposed edit. Shall.
And then just further down, the powers and duties. Labor and collective bargaining agreements requiring approval of the school committee. The details of any tentative agreement, along with a 3-year fiscal impact report, shall be made public at least 3 days prior to the meeting. at which the final
That was
approval is
my
to be taken.
insertion for discussion.
So,
And this,
I like
this.
the idea. I think putting it in the charter is problematic because what does that actually?
So, you're right, I'm fine if we don't want it in, but I just want to explain why. So as we talked about the budget process and the
Yeah.
transparency and the coordination and the need for like a bigger, more long-term planning, fiscal
Yeah.
planning within the town, one of the issues is always that the school department, ratifies a contract with raise increases, and then what's the timeline for the town doing the same, and then suddenly now we've got a
No.
year with
There-
big increases.
So the answer to your question is that there should be comprehensive fiscal planning across the town. Not just the school department, even though that's the biggest
Correct.
budget item. The issue is, what you're getting at, is that we have to ratify a contract. We can't go without it.
Right.
Or, you can't after for a certain amount of time, but right now, that just sort of institutionalizes the prior contract. So the problem has always been, you ratify a contract, and then you're fighting the budget battle for the next 3 years to get the increases that you ratified, pretty reasonably in most I can't think of a single time we actually really gave away anything. It's always been,
Not in
if
recent
anything.
years.
Huh?
Not in recent years.
Not in the
Yeah.
last 12, I can tell you that much. If anything, they've been really parsimonious, so.
Okay, I'm fine taking that out of
So I don't know, I
the
mean,
and-
you would almost want to put in a whole other section in the charter that requires financial planning or fiscal planning.
Yeah,
That,
maybe it could be.
and maybe that's what you do. That's a much heavier lift in a lot of regards because, well, maybe it's not, I don't know.
Well, I know that typically the contract negotiations that have been part of, that is part of the process where you look at that 3-year projection of what that increase will
Yes.
cost the school district, but it's not necessary, you're right, maybe it's part of that bigger discussion of just, good budgeting practices for the town and the school department, so I'm gonna pull it out if everyone's okay with that. Again, that was just my insertion.
So I just looked at the charter under police, fire, all the department heads, and he's correct that there's no mention of a fiscal impact, but the council's practice is to have a fiscal impact public.
Yeah.
It's the council's practice. And it might
Okay.
even, it might
It's
even
the
be
school committee's practice too.
Yeah, you gotta-
You have to look at that.
Yeah.
And you have to project what it's gonna cost. But because, but what should happen actually is, and maybe in the charter's not the place to put it, but in an ideal, town governance, you would have some representation from, every area that's actually looking at what are the different challenges coming up, what are
Yeah.
the,
Right.
so that you can sort of
Altogether.
all together, right?
Right.
I will add too, the whole point of the fiscal impact statement being public 3 days in advance is, and I get it, I guilty of myself, I don't always go online and look at stuff. that's the public's opportunity to pay attention. Oh, look, there's
Well-
a fiscal impact statement.
And that's,
And if they wanna
can
say
you go
something,
back to the
yeah.
language again, Diane? Because you do have to put stuff up 3 days before for the collective bargaining agreements about what the cost is. A fiscal impact statement is a very different beast in my mind because it's actually looking at a lot of other
Right,
things.
so the language is the details of any tentative agreement shall be made public.
Right.
So details
Right.
could include
So, and that's
supporting
exactly what they do. They have a
documentation.
thing where there's a format that, at least in the last 12 years, the business managers followed where they calculate out, these are the percentages year over year, this is what the total cost is, blah, 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 blah. And then, again, you're in this budget fight to make sure that you can meet those obligations. And that, frankly, that is exactly what sunk us in 2020, is we had contractual obligations, we were level funded, we were unable to actually ever recoup that. And then we kept on having year-over-year losses from state aid. A lot of fingers got pointed, but that's actually the truth of the matter.
Is there anything, would there be anything wrong, details including the fiscal impact statement? Or are you trying to get away from not having to
Well, I
do it?
think if you, first of all, you would have to put that in every other collective bargaining agreement
Yeah.
too. So you'd have to make it uniform throughout the charter if you were gonna try and accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. But I think putting that in the charter is probably not going to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, which is
It's
long-term
probably
forecasting.
too many words that are not
Right.
needed. It's about good practice and the practice of the council.
I agree with both of you, and that's the thing, is putting in the charter is not gonna accomplish the overall picture that we're trying to accomplish.
Unless you had a separate section altogether in the charter that talked about fiscal forecasting and how that it's somehow required at some level and it must include these participants, but.
I think too, not to be too cynical about it, but if you put it in there, that doesn't mean you're necessarily gonna get a quality accurate.
Well, that's what I mean, you have to go out and, you
Yeah,
need
you're right.
more language to define exactly what you're
So
trying to
it's more
accomplish.
about
I like the
practice.
concept, and I would support it, but I just making an observation that.
Okay, so the next proposed revision is just
Buildings
the
and
typo
grounds.
on there, that's
Why
what's
is that in
included.
there?
What's the typo?
It's,
They omitted the word with.
Do they
Oh, I see.
regularly use the town public works, the Department of Public Works to?
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, they cooperate
Yeah.
pretty well.
they cut the lawn, they plow. they-
Yeah,
Wow.
when we have a snowstorm, it's usually the public works and the,
Custodians do all of it.
they work together.
We don't have the
together.
staff to do it all.
Yeah, all of it. Okay.
So this, based on the meeting with Diane Farnworth, these were the only, proposed changes that came out of there, but I think it's a bigger conversation, is looking at the whole budget process, and then, that might be.
That's
an
actually
actual
where it should
section.
be, is, in the budget process, there should be a provision for forecasting, actually, the effect of things, and we can get
Maybe
to
it
that.
applies to all labor contracts then.
Huh?
And maybe if it's there, it would apply to every labor contract, not,
Yeah.
or every contract. Every
Well, so that's
multi-labor
always,
contract,
so, exactly, so the language right now, it just applies to collective bargaining, and there's been arguments about that as well, and, you can apply it to every contract
Sure.
signed, up to and including, for goods and services, not just personnel.
All right, based on these discussions, are we prepared to vote on these changes as we put them together?
So
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, I have it. Are we considering with to be part of this motion, or is that administrative typo? So it's really just,
Say that again, I'm sorry.
that last little part with the width, that's,
That's
There's
the
really
type-
two-
That's a type.
there's two changes here, right? To
Yeah.
remove the minutes to be on file with the clerk, and to remove reference to the frequency of office elections. Is that your motion?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make the motion that we take these in total, and if, the motion passes, we can sort of take them separately.
And I'll second that.
All right, is there Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous.
That's it.
Which document am I looking for that had all our, is this all?
That's it. No.
Regarding budget?
Yeah.
I don't think we really had.
Well,
We-
it was this in red on this other document from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, regulation tracker, 10/21/25.
Oh, just so you're aware, that second tab is just the budget section, because it was too much to put in on the other.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And now that I'm looking at this, the only other recommendation from Diane Farnworth regarding budget was the timeline. Asking that the timeline be moved up so that they are not in the situation that they were in this year, having to lay off teachers and not knowing if they could hire teachers because of the late timeline of the town council approving their budget. So that
That's
was
the
her
only thing she wanted to
recommendation.
talk about with the budget?
That, Jerry, that was, I mean, I think,
I'm surprised
I'm not
too.
saying that she wouldn't want to be at the table for a bigger discussion, but as far as her looking at the budget process outlined as it is, that was one of her recommendations, is to
Yeah.
adjust the
But it
timeline.
was not the school committees. She
Just
came and
hers.
stated
Yeah.
it was just hers.
Yeah. I have no idea if they'd even talked about it.
Can you
I
do
don't know.
that?
She was speaking for herself at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
That's true. It's, you know, kind of pushing it all the way to June and, you know, actually even that has resulted in actually all of the discussions getting pushed way, way, way late so that you have, because of the collective bargaining agreements and labor law and all the other stuff, you have to notice people
Right, it's the
in
June
March, I think,
1st.
right now.
Yes, for non-tenured.
Okay.
But for other stuff, I believe it's by June 1st.
Okay, yeah, maybe
And
June
we
1st.
weren't able to tell some highly qualified, really important staff members whether or not they had a job next year, so we lost some good staff. So she understands the constraints and that, you know, we don't always get a good idea of our state funding, but that was a recommendation if there was a way to just push that back.
I don't know why. I can't even remember the rationale, if there was one, as to why it got put so late when they did the ordinance, whatever that was, 2 or 3 years ago. Because it used, you know, you had the joint meeting in March, or the budget was generally adopted by May. And all the shit was over by mid-April.
I think she nailed it though with that comment on the state funding, the state,
Yeah.
the insurance rates.
Healthcare.
It's almost like that, no one likes layoffs, period, but it's almost like that layoff thing should be adjusted at the state level. So that way we get a better picture of what the state's been able to do. We don't know what the rates are gonna be. I mean, you know, rates, we've set the rates at this level, and then all of a sudden, you know, wait, never mind, that's not the level, it's gonna be this. So
Yeah.
now we gotta go back and readjust the budget on all ends.
Yeah, that's what happened in 2015. All of a sudden, the transportation and healthcare skyrocketed, and that killed all-day kindergarten, blah, 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 blah. You can capitulate all that if you were to really need something to put you to sleep, but, yeah,
I just don't know if there's a win on that. Is there a?
no,
is there a
there really
win?
isn't.
So, I'll just add my perspective. I was the assistant superintendent in Bristol Warren, and I was also the curriculum director here, so I was very involved in the budget process. And from my experience, when the governor gives you that tentative number,
Mhm.
it is usually fairly consistent. It's actually very conservative. The same thing with federal fund projections that we get.
Yeah.
They're on the conservative side. They don't give us an amount and then suddenly we get a big cut. It's usually been either we get what they said or we might luck out and get 10,000 more or something like. So that's been my experience. That
No,
you can pretty
that-
much count on that number.
You're absolutely right. That what they publish in January pretty much holds, or it's better than that. And
And
but
anyone
again,
could
that's-
research that by looking at the state site where they have school funding. It says the projected, and then it says the actual, so you could see that there's very little difference. So that's why I think I've always felt safer going with it earlier, rather than waiting and delaying. And you lose staff. People need to know. People have mortgages. They're not going to wait till June or whenever the state actually, because they don't come out until like July 1, right? Or after
Yeah.
that.
No,
So-
that's when the budget's adopted right now, is
Correct.
it's usually the last.
So that's really
Okay.
problematic if we try to wait till the end there, because we lose good people and you have the whole school department and in essence town in turmoil because nobody knows what's happening if the budget isn't settled.
So as we had discussed it one at a time, now this right here was discussions to move the dates up. For instance, town clerk and treasurer would have theirs by the mid-February. School committee the same. March 1st, we'd have the town administrator preparing a budget. Following down, we'll have that discussion shortly, but right now I'd rather focus on the timing. Town council's adopted a preliminary unified budget April 1st. Question of how many days will this be held before we do anything? Public hearing by May 1st. May 15th would be the date as opposed to June 30th. And as you can see, by May 15th, we'd be well forward of the dates when you have to provide the schools, the teachers with their notifications.
Yeah, because then if you have that done by May 15th, that's when people are going to make a decision about whether or not they're going to stick around. For other reasons. They won't make it for financial reasons because they'll know that they have a job or not. And just went out of my head what the next thing I was going to say.
One other discussion that was held.
I just have a,
Hold
because
that thought.
when did we used to have the famous town financial meetings? The big
So-
meeting.
In May, I think.
So you would have to back those, so there's two things that trigger it. One is the date by which the final budget needs to be adopted.
Yeah.
It has to happen at some, that, and also when the preliminary budget is adopted by the town council. But the other thing is whether or not that actually doesn't play into it. But in that timeline is worked out when a petitioner's budget is or is not, kind of put forward with the sufficient signatures and all that stuff. So
But
if you were saying that the budget has to be adopted by May 15th, you would probably be having the financial town hearing around May 1st or something like that, in that first week of May.
I have so we're all talking about changing dates. I have a question that I just don't understand the language, how this whole thing works. On 6, it says Budget Committee shall prepare and submit to the town council their proposed unified budget and any proposed language necessary to implement the budget on or before April 25th. And then the budget committee's never mentioned again, and I don't get it. Because the next one is 7, the town council shall adopt a preliminary unified budget ordinance.
Right.
And so what happened to the budget committee's budget?
That's the end of their job.
Why?
Is
What
why
happens to their proposed unified budget?
The town council adopts it or adopts their, or.
But it doesn't
modifies
say
it.
that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it clear that's what goes on. And why can't both budgets go on the ballot?
But that's under budget, we're still under school department, aren't we?
No, we're on the budget
No, on these
adoption
dates,
process.
on
So
these
the
dates.
way, the way it works right now,
I
and
know.
I'm not gonna have the dates right, but the budget committee does its work. They come up with a budget. They essentially make a recommendation to the town council.
Doesn't
It's
say
not-
that.
It's not binding at all. I don't have to look at the language, I'm just,
Actually, it is on Article 7, Section 702.
7
Section
where?
703, duties and responsibilities of the Budget Committee.
so,
We're at
but to,
703.
but to the point is, the budget committee's role is strictly advisory.
It
And
doesn't
then-
say that either. It's an
Well, but
elected
it's-
position.
Here, I'll put it up there for you.
I mean, we can parse all through the language, I can tell you what's functionally, what's going on,
So
what
this is-
happens now.
This is Budget Committee, Article 7,
If not, it
on
comes
the screen, yeah.
legally, but not.
I'm sorry, what, 7037? Is that what you just said?
703, Article 7, Section 703, their duties and
No,
responsibilities.
budget committee is fine, town council.
I'm just gonna scroll so you see that, that's the end of it, what's
I
on
don't
this
want
page.
this just pass this
They
process.
participate in the initial budget workshop, they review it, review what's submitted by town administrator. Prepare and submit their,
We've talked
they
about this.
propose unified budget and a proposed language necessary to implement the budget proposed with Article 3. That's their responsibility.
What, say that? Say it again?
Since we're,
Yeah.
did you want to move into the, were you planning on staying after? Because the people in the trustees room did leave if you wanted to move in there.
No, we'll stay there. at this
Well, so you're gonna leave at 8?
point. No.
Okay, so we can't, so I'm afraid we can't have you stay in this room, so we need to put the gate down.
Ah,
Got it.
We should do it.
so
We're gonna
maybe
be in a
we'll
gated community, please.
You guys want
We don't
to
need
visit
for the
the library and the
charter.
charter?
You bring in like 10 pizzas?
But we don't have the screen over there, do we?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
All right, so it looks like we're gonna be done at 8.
What time is it?
10 minutes.
So it's like,
7:47.
yeah.
Well, make sure you talk to Catherine, make sure you have priority on those alone.
We're a community. board.
Versus Little League.
But Mike, in all
So the
seriousness,
next meeting's at the senior center.
Nothing gets
if we
Well,
cleared
there
everything,
currently isn't working. Yeah, I'm sorry.
have we cleared everything out in the budget committee session? I mean, other than the budget process?
I did.
No, it's just
Well,
all
yeah.
yours. All right.
I let you know with the post office. This girl told me, she said, she didn't, she just said, oh, we can't post this.
Library minutes,
We
and
can't
they're
post
everything
them for a
over.
community
What do we have to
building.
say?
supposed to
Who are you people? This is kind of gone.
Told you I want that like this.
Yeah, good question.
He is a trustee. Well, tell him that's a
There.
shame, especially in a area
Article
where
4,
people
we
need.
did this one.
Just because he changed his
Is the yellow just
I say we do whatever Dennis
I
says.
still expect him.
Swapped up and watched some votes.
Go into the
Watch some votes on TV.
discuss the role of the budget committee.
But Tim probably is.
And eat dinner.
That was sent by
Thank you.
Scott.
Would either.
Would that be
I
helpful?
came straight from work.
Without
I'm on
drafting
I came straight from work
Well,
here.
that's straight to
Do
babysitting.
that. All right, so
Pretty sure.
Diana suggested something that while we're having the discussion, maybe it makes sense. Diane suggested while we're having the discussion on the budget, it makes sense to continue at least a little bit and talk about the letter that came from Scott Toner, the chair of the budget committee. So I suggest we can move over to the other room, continue that discussion over there, and then we're not gonna have the benefit of the screen.
I think we've got a lot of talking before we put anything in writing. So I figured that would be helpful to at least talk about the role of the budget committee and the letter from Scott Toner and
Move these cameras too.
North side of
So
Whitman.
field trip to the big room
Right by the high
for a
school.
little bit?
Sure.
Sure.
Because if not, we're never gonna have that
Is
part
this your
of this
extension?
done.
Might be theirs.
Mine.
Something Wally gave me.
I know. I think that she gave me up and then, oh, how do you like that? How do you like that? But I do feel this is a community building, and I believe we should have a community bulletin board. We always do. I won't say
Is that
always,
from your
because it's been
travels?
about 6
Yeah,
or
this
7
was
years.
the,
No
35
community
day
board.
cruise. It's called the Voyage, it's called the Voyage of the
Community
Vikings.
building.
That's fine. I can make the 18th, I can make 17th.
I can do the 17th and the 18th.
What
I've
day
planned
is
my
the
life around our
17th?
It's a
schedule,
Monday,
so
Monday and Tuesday.
I go to Ireland, you guys start taking votes, what's going on here?
I'm going all.
I don't know where in
I'm going
Ireland.
to Rome
Ireland
and
did
Spain.
Actually, I was
Do we
working
need
most
to
of the time
vote?
in Dublin,
So
so we did
sad.
that.
We need to vote to adjourn.
And
Oh.
have a meeting date?
I make a motion
Well,
to
hold
adjourn.
on,
Second screen.
Diane's got a good point. We probably need to make a motion to add the meetings.
There you go.
Make a motion to add a meeting date on November 17th in addition to our November 18th meetings.
Yeah, you said you
Have a
actually.
second?
I second it.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on, I gotta make notes here.
The secretary, he's getting
Under Robert's rules, you also don't need a motion to adjourn. You can just adjourn.
I've been saying this forever.
Yeah.
I say, is there any objection to adjourning? No objection, we're out of here.
You don't need the motion for the meetings. The chair can call them, and actually a majority of them can call them. And then if there's not a quorum, then just, if you don't like it, you don't show up.
All right, we got some live motions. Who made the motion to adjourn?
No, Diane did, I seconded it.
Should we try to do the senior center?
I'll reach out to
What's Donna's second?
Donna seconded it.
Okay, and
Not
then
gonna
before
forget
taking
to
a
tell
vote, we had another
Jan.
motion to
I
add.
just texted him,
That was
you
from
might need
Diane.
that already.
Who seconded that?
I
Anybody?
seconded it.
Traveling,
Okay.
flying up to Utah.
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I, on your behalf, ask if the first motion to adjourn will be suspended to take up the vice chair's motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's,
All right, hearing no objection, we're going to vote on the motion to add the meeting.
Yes.
Would the
Yes.
motion to adjourn like to resume from suspension?
Yes.
Is there a motion? Sorry, Mike, I'm taking
go
on.
ahead, let's get it done. I'm making notes too, Rob.
So
Okay.
somebody else is in that room still.
The motion to adjourn by who?
John a message.
That was
Diane.
Diane and Donna.
Donna.
Which was suspended and now resumed, and we have a live motion on the floor to adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Looks
Aye.
good.
Glenn is not here.
Okay.
Thank you all.